There is no way out, and as Larry Page and Sergey Brin cautiously discovered when they launched Google in 1998, everything people do on the internet leaves data. When properly stored and used, this data is a goldmine of complete information about people on a personal level, and valuable information about economic and political trends. Google was the first internet company to make the most of this information and build a business based on the data that people leave behind. But it didn't take long. This has happened almost everywhere, from the smallest app to the largest platform. Amazon, Instagram, Tinder, Facebook, eBay, Uber, Spotify, Lyft, and Twitter. These platforms all leverage people's data, where we go, who we talk to, what we talked about, and who we see. All this information is recorded. When you visit a place that you tell no one about, Google knows about it. They know us well, including what we hide from friends and family. In our modern internet ecosystem, this private surveillance is the norm.
How can you travel to the south of Minsk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to Mars. Anywhere.
You can enter the house too?
Yeah.
And see the kitchen and this sort of things?
Working on that.
But Google has grown so well, and no one wants to admit the fact that it has also grown worse over the years. However, it is Eric Schmidt became the CEO of Google in 2001. During his tenure as CEO, Google integrated with some power structures in the United States as it morphed into a geographically aggressive mega-corporation. But Google has always liked this approach. Also, a long time before Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the founders of Google, hired Schmidt, their initial research on which Google relied was partially funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA.
You can search the web with real and organic search results and do it without anyone tracking your activity or data. We ourselves use Atlas VPN to protect our data online. Atlas VPN is more than just any other VPN. It blocks all malicious links, ads, and trackers, and notifies you when someone is trying to spy on or steal your data. If you want to grab Atlas VPN, they have a great deal going on right now for just $1.70 a month and 6 months extra for free. We've provided a link in the description you can use to grab this deal. Try it out with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Not only does it protect your data, it also keeps your searches completely private. Also, protect unlimited devices at once. No limits are set. One subscription only for the best price. That's why we use Atlas. Oh, did we forget to mention it saves you a lot of money booking online? It's that easy. Grab Atlas VPN using the link in the description and secure your data today.
In 2004, Google took over Keyhole, a mapping technology startup funded by the National Geospatial Agency, NGA, and the CIA. It was developed into Google Maps. The enterprise version of the Keyhole has even been shopped to the Pentagon and associated agencies under multi-million-dollar contracts. These should raise a question on our minds whether there is a relationship between the CIA and the tech giant. However, there have been many claims from Google that it was never funded or created by the Central Intelligence Agency. For example, when a story was circulating in 2006 about Google receiving funds from the intelligence community in the past years to help fight terrorism, the company told John Battelle, founder of Wired magazine, that the statements related to Google are completely untrue. The big question now is, did the CIA fund Brin and Page's research and thus create Google? No. But were they researching exactly what the NSA, CIA, and the intelligence was hoping for? Absolutely. Brin's breakthrough research on page ranking by tracking user queries and linking them to the many searches conducted, essentially identifying birds of a feather, was largely the aim of the intelligence community's MDDS program, and Google succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. To understand this, you need to think about what the intelligence community was trying to achieve by providing grants to the best in academia. The CIA and NSA funded an unclassified, diverse, but elaborate program from the beginning to encourage the development of something that is almost like Google. The investment arms of the Central Intelligence Agency and Google support a company that monitors the internet in real time, and reported it uses the information to predict the future. This seems to be the first time that the intelligence community and Google are funding the same startup at the same time. No one accuses Google of cooperating directly with the CIA, but the investment is bound to feed Google's critics, who see the search giant as already very friendly with the United States government and fear that the company is starting to forget its mantra. Don't be evil.
This is the facts. This is not science fiction. This is not me being paranoid. The antivirus paradigm is no longer functional. It doesn't work. I said this 10 years ago, and I'm the person who invented it. So people should listen. I mean, if I invented it and I built the first antivirus company, viruses are not the problem. By the time hackers have planted malware in your system, it's way too late. The hackers spend weeks, months, or sometimes years sniffing around in your system, taking what they want before they even plant malware. But you can find the presence of a hacker in your system so easily. Every hacker has to go through certain steps in order to break into any system and do damage. The first thing they have to do is get through the firewall, and all firewalls have holes. It's impossible to build a firewall that can keep out all hackers. It just can't be done. They have to get through the firewall, and then they have to find out where they are. And so what's on this net? So they sniff every device on the network. You have people, I mean, I've even heard people at Google say that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Well, I've never heard anything crazier. It's insane to say, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. We're all humans. We are living in an imperfect world. Over half of all smartphones, both iOS and Android, are infected with keystroke logging software. This is a known fact. Every site in the world, if you have ever, I'm sure nobody here has ever looked at McAfee, but if you have, then you have keystroke logging software. How do you think they make their money? See, this is the issue. It costs millions of dollars to maintain these massive databases and have the bandwidth to disperse this, and yet you don't pay. Yes, you're paying. The instant you visit the site, if you have an Android, for example, the site runs a JavaScript which sets the download unauthorized application flag. The very first video that you watch, you now, because that's a click-through, you clicked, you did something. You said, yes, oh, good, yes, I'll do that. Downloads, first and foremost, a remote rooting function. If it's an iPhone, a remote jailbreaking program. All can be remotely rooted now. After it's rooted, they download a keylogger, and all this takes just a matter of seconds. And from that point on, somebody is watching every single one of your keystrokes. Now, people pay these sites for the ability to put their keylogging software on your phones. Why? Well, maybe they're a Bitcoin aficionado, and they're going to see, do you have a Bitcoin wallet like Mycelium or what have you? Yes. Well, they're just going to hang around until you access it and input your keys or your passwords, and the next day, your wallet's going to be empty. Or maybe you do online banking, all right? You have a password, you have an application. The very first time you've logged into your bank to check your balance or do anything, they go, thank you very much. And the next day, your bank balance will disappear. Now, why has this not happened to you already? Because hackers are not stupid. In order to take something, they have to download additional software. If they only take 400 or 500 people's bank accounts in one day, then the next day, the white hat hackers are going to say, this is how they did it. Everybody, you can protect yourself. No, they're going to wait until one day this year or next year, and 100 million people in one day are going to have your bank accounts eradicated. Zero balance. Or your identity will be stolen, or your Bitcoin wallet will be emptied. Or maybe they've been watching your keystrokes to see if, maybe you're saying something to a friend or a lover that maybe could compromise you. Maybe they can blackmail you. If they get lucky, you might be a United States congressman or a senator, in which case, now not only do they have money, they have power. And the Russian cyber mafia and the Chinese cyber mafia are so powerful, they pay literally hundreds of millions of dollars to these sites to allow them to access your smartphone so that at some point they can utilize that. Now, you said, how secure are they? Well, they're not. They're not. Neither the alt currency wallets nor anything else in the cloud. Because what is the cloud? We haven't thought this through, people. The cloud is a place where I'm going to store data. I don't know what computer it's on or even what country it's in, I don't know who is managing it and monitoring it and controlling it. I don't know what type of security facilities you have. I know nothing. And I'm willing to put my valuable data there? No. Why would we do that? Now, if it's something I don't care about, that if you steal it, I don't care. It's a list of books I read. You know, I'll just recreate it from the web. But if it's something that matters, it's like saying, we've all agreed now we have secrets, yes? Why don't you let me keep your secrets? Why should you be burdened with having to keep your secrets? I mean, you've got too many stories to tell. Why don't you give it to me and let me manage it for you? Isn't that crazy? And that's what we're doing with our, quote, secret data. That is data we don't want to have stolen from us or taken or accessed.
Yeah.